Hi, FlossTube. I hope you're having a great September. Today is September 30th, and we're closing out the month of October Eve, as the Sunshine Stitchers like to call it. I wanted to stop by and film a quick video to update you on what I completed in September. But in FlossTube 17, I decided that I would publish and upload the videos on the 16th. So I'm going to have today's video and a video for the 16th, and I'll edit them together, and they'll be ready to upload for the 16th. Ironically, when I decided to do this, I had it ready to upload on the 14th, and it took 3 days to upload. So FlossTube 17 was actually late by a day or two. So that makes today FlossTube 18. FlossTube 18. I feel better. Not that I was feeling sick, but I feel better and more comfortable visiting with you. So grab your stitching. If you have coffee or tea, maybe you drink water, grab that, because I want to share a few things with you, and then I'll send you on your way. So one of the things I've been working on for the past couple days are quilt squares, rectangles, quilt pieces, and I've purchased jelly rolls. This jelly roll, of course, looks wonky because I've untied it a couple times, but a jelly roll is a roll of fabric cut in 2.5-inch strips and then rolled together. A lot of the times, depending on the description, the fabrics will duplicate, but you can, there we go. You can also see where there are different patterns. If you're buying online, a lot of times there is a picture of what all the fabric will look like. Sometimes there's not. Now, jelly rolls can be quite expensive, and what I have found is some go for $50, and that's for 40 strips of 2.5-inch fabric, but these are 40 inches in length. And what I've done with the jelly rolls, and you can see that these jelly rolls have duplicates. There's one, and you can see the other one on top and the one below. They're completely the same, but then there are, where I purchased my jelly rolls was at Joann's, and I had 50% off coupons. So in my last FlossTube video, I talked about ordering something from Joann's for curbside pickup online and using a 50% off coupon that way. And when my order's ready, I go and pick it up, and I use another 50% off coupon for something else, mainly because I want to save money. But these jelly rolls at Joann's were $15. They're 20 strips of cloth. They're duplicated once. And so I'm getting 2 strips. So 10 times 2. So I'm getting 10 strips duplicated twice. So that makes the 20. Now, I did buy some jelly rolls online, but like I said, those get more expensive, and I'll tell you about that because they haven't arrived yet. I'll tell you about that when they arrive, and I'll tell you about the website as well. One of the quilt patterns I followed, this is a Lori Holt quilt pattern, and I used several different 2.5-inch strips. It starts here in the center, and that's a 2.5-inch block. The sides are 5 over here, and on the other side, these are 6 inches. These are 12 inches, and then these are 16 inches. And they are all, you have to add half an inch to all of those. And I didn't do that when I was telling you. And that will allow for a seam allowance, which will help. Now, what I realized was this quilt block really isn't going to do what I want it to do because it is 16 inches long. I need something 12 inches high as well and 14 inches high. I could add another strip on the bottom or the top, and that wouldn't be a problem. And I still might do that for these, or I could make smaller bags out of these because these are going to be the backings of bags that I want to make. Then I'm lucky because my best friend likes to quilt, and I was struggling with this next pattern that I found, mainly because I was cutting the fabric incorrectly. I did figure that out. I had some that were, I thought I needed I thought I needed 4 inches, and it didn't work out. But this is the block that I ended up with. And you can tell there are 4 blocks sewn together. And I really like this pattern that it makes. This was all buckled in here, and I couldn't get it to lay flat. And luckily, my friend had me take pictures of it. She lives in Virginia, and I live in California. But she offered to help, and she was even willing to put those squares together and film it for me and send it to me. But we figured out what was going on. So that square and this square are made also out of jelly rolls, the 2.5-inch strips. And what I'm going to do is use this for the backing of a couple bags. And it'll be trimmed down, but I really like the way these came out. I was looking for something neutral. There were some glitter patterns in there. It didn't bother me. But the reason I'm showing you these today is because now I can use those tomorrow and actually make the bags. And when I film again, I will show you those bags because I need to make one specifically to give away in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. And it's not that I have to, it's that I want to. And while I'm learning about that, I'm making adjustments. I'm also creating one for myself. All right. So my main focus in September was Greyfriars Sampler. And that's because it was Sampler September. I felt I wanted to work on this. I started this pattern in March when COVID hit. And I was looking for something that I could work on that I really enjoyed. I'm going to put the actual picture, let me move this, and I'm going to put the picture somewhere, right. I still struggle. I'm going to put the picture somewhere up here. There we go. But I got quite a bit done. This entire center motif right here. And then I also got this motif right here. I finished the border around here. Oops. And so I'm more than halfway done with this. I really like the way it's coming out. And I'm going to put this away. Now, I made this my focal piece for September. And what I do is I love my Busy Bee, and I love the feeling of this. I bought this when I was in Savannah, Georgia, and they have an art institute there. but I've been using this as my journal, and apparently, well, not apparently, I keep one page simply for my focal piece, and I go back and I put in the hours. I don't like counting stitches. Maybe I just don't have a good technique for that, but I don't mind counting hours, and I time myself, or I don't time, but I record the time. For this piece, I had 79 hours. That just seems unbelievable to me. But I'm going to put the Gray Friar sampler away for now. I'm not sure where I'm going to go for October as far as a focal piece. I thought maybe I would use one of my Hades. I'm not ready for one of my Hades, but I very easily could pick up the Harry Potter book covers again, and I might just do that. One, since I have it in my lap, I have an October start for tomorrow, and this is for Magazine Monthly Challenge. I'm going to look for it because I have two patterns that I want to do. I have all the floss purchased, and most of the floss is on tags. But I think I know I talked about this one because I really love cat-o'-lantern. There's something about the cat with the hat that I really find fun. And then there's the penny border as well. So that'll be my start tomorrow. This cat-o'-lantern was designed by Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. There are other patterns in there that I plan on starting in October, but those are the main one, or that's the main one. The other pattern, and it's still in the hoop because I haven't moved, well, I did move it, but I'm going to put the picture right here of where I finished in the last video. And this is where I'm at right now with the fall teapot. And you can see I'm into the pumpkin and the teapot handle. I have some greenery and a second flower there. So once I got past this flower, I had more success over here. And I like the way it's turning out now. This is on 28 count Murano tea coffee dyed from probably Joann's. And when I was in Joann's today, I noticed that they had like 6 or 7 of the tubes of Murano. And so I did buy 2 because I had 2 50% off coupons that I wanted to use. So I'm going to tea and coffee dye those as well. Finally, I'm going to talk about my purchases. And my most exciting purchase arrived on my birthday. And I really felt like I needed a pair of scissors that work extremely well. I have a pair of scissors, Ginger, and I talked about that in Floss Tube 17. I really liked how they work, but they weren't getting quite close enough. And I'm sure another pair of scissors would have worked beautifully, but I was so excited when I got the scissors that I took them out and tried them because they're this gorgeous buffalo plaid. And I had to have them. Before I saw these, I wanted the brown handled scissors, the tortoiseshell ones. Those are gorgeous as well. But when I saw the plaid, I love plaid, so I went ahead and I purchased those. I had my parents invited me over for dinner, and my mom gave me $100 for a birthday gift. We don't know what to purchase each other. We have everything we want. And so I used that birthday money for these scissors. And again, I'm so pleased with them. They're worth every cent. They're worth every cent. I'm not going to drop those over there like I was doing with my other work. I did get a thank you card from one of my viewers, and there it goes. It's a little cockeyed, but if I go straight on, it gives you glare. And I think that thank you cards or any words of encouragement are really important, because we don't know if we're connecting with each other. So when you see something on a floss tube, whether it's mine or someone else's, stop by and leave a note, right? It's okay. Give them a thumbs up. I have a button you can click somewhere over here to subscribe, but a lot of times I'll be watching FlossTube on TV, but when I want to comment, I'll pick up my phone and it's easy to comment. And from the viewer that sent me the thank you card, whoops, I got this gorgeous silk. And it just reminds me of a summer day. I don't know if that's coming out, and that's completely my fault, but I could probably do something like that. It's a gorgeous green and yellow, and it reminded me of a summer day, and maybe a lemonade with lime in it. Very gorgeous, and I'm going to find the perfect project for that. That leads us to purchases. And I typically will buy things when I'm when I'm exhausted or something emotional has happened. And I think we all felt that way, or many of us felt that way when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. For me, it was unexpected. She always seemed so strong and such a fighter, and to know that she wasn't going to keep going at a relatively young age was really hard. So I was wanting to get some color and cotton, and I did get this piece from Fire Poppies. It's a 32 count sage, and it arrived very quick. In fact, I was surprised. I was up at midnight. Maybe you can get a better view here. I was up at midnight, and I placed the order probably about 11:30. And when I checked my email the next morning around 6 a.m., it had already shipped. So really good customer service. The only thing that I was shocked about, and I shouldn't be because I saw the price I paid, was that it was an eighth, and I think I was expecting a quarter. But at Fire Poppies, you have to put in how many pieces you want, and it goes in increments of 1/8. So I do have this, and now I'm going to decide if I want to continue Crazy Annie's Fabric of the Month Club using color and cotton. And I might for a year, and it would definitely be 32 count. So that was from Fire Poppies. This piece of fabric is Highland, and it's in 36 Edinburgh. And I just wanted to see what a 36 count looks like. And I was thinking, because it is Edinburgh and there's some greens, that maybe I would use this for Witch Witch because I have Raven, which is black and green, and I thought the green in the thread would pick up on here. I don't know if I'll use it for that though. And what I discovered was, yeah, I can stitch on 36 count, but it's a struggle. So why not just stick with 32 since that's what I like? So that was what came out of my little um, journey into choosing a few different um, sizes. And when I was in, there was a 911 Stitcher Zoom meetup this weekend, and a few of the ladies were talking about only wanting to stitch on Ada. And someone said, well, that's, people make fun of that. And I'm like, who cares what people think or say? If you're getting joy out of stitching, then don't let someone steal that joy from you. This is a piece of Be Stitch Me in pumpkin. It matches the wall somewhat. I put those patches on my wall in June. I mean, at the end of June, so July. I still haven't painted the wall. But what we were talking about is who cares? You do you, you do what makes you happy, and don't let anyone steal your joy. And here's what I like. Nicola Parkman was in the meeting as well. And we were just stitching and she was doing her thing. And it was Sampler September, and I don't even know if she was working on a sampler. But she said the same exact thing. And she says, I could show you several projects I've worked on Ada, and they're all stunning and gorgeous. And it was at that moment that I thought, I need to go watch Nicola. She seems like good people. And by saying that, it really says more about me than her, because I was never quite sure where she fit in the floss tube world. I know she does the Hands Across the Sea sampler, but I wasn't, I was leery of her videos. But that's why I said it says more about me than about her. And so now I look forward to going back and watching her videos. And she has a passion for the history, not just the samplers. And she wants to know about the lives these girls led and find out as much information as she can. So it was a joy to actually see that evolve in our conversation and hearing that, yeah, what she does is her passion as well. My last purchase is still in the package because I didn't need to use it and I don't want to take it out yet. But I can now match up DMC to my floss collections that I'm building. And the way I'll do that is I'll look on the package or on the instructions and the floss list and look on DMC here, because this is the color card with the thread. It was $25 on 123 Stitch. Go get one. I thought they were a lot more, but I'll be able to look at the pattern, see the DMC color, go here and look through it and match my variegated floss to what I think would work best. Surprisingly, I just talked for 25 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, stick around for the next update. It'll come right after this. So for now, have a nice day or an evening, wherever you are, and enjoy your stitching. Floss Tube, thank you for sticking around and seeing the next part of my video. Today is October 7th, 2020, and it's still the same video because I just made little individual starts. What I wanted to come in and show you today is the finished project bags. In the last segment, I showed you all of my quilts, the 4 quilts that I made. Well, now I've turned them into bags. And this one was won in the magazine monthly challenge group, and I'll be sending this off to the winner. Of course, it has my logo up here. I like knowing where I got things at bags, whatever it is. And so I do label what I make because I like knowing. And the other part that I have is I've been making zipper pulls. Theoretically, I could have turned them into scissor fobs, but I didn't have anything for the zipper pull, and I have hundreds and hundreds of beads from my time where I made seed bead jewelry. So I like being able to use what I have on hand and add a little bling to the bags. Now, I didn't add any bling to the next bag I'm going to show you. This was the quilt pattern that I created, and as you can see, 2 of the blocks here and over here have 4 colors, and then the blocks kitty corner only have 3 colors, and that's because I had to cut the fabric down to fit my bag. And next time I want to make the bag a little taller, but I didn't this time. And this is the bag that I'm keeping for myself because, again, I started making projects as a way as a way to save money because I was spending way too much. And it's another craft that I really enjoy. I had last week off and I was crawling around on the floor for 2 days cutting out fabric, and I loved every minute of it. I did get more jelly rolls, but I'll talk to you about them at the end of the video because some of you don't care. And I'm happy with the way the bags turned out, but I only say that after I seam ripped both bags. It was sad because here I made it all the way around, and then right here I didn't catch the zippered section and part of the vinyl, and unfortunately I needed to go back and do that. But also I was having trouble with the bobbin, and a lot of the extra thread was getting caught, and there were lumps of thread here and there. So I did seam rip both bags. Neither bag is perfect. I've never claimed to be a perfect stitcher, but what I am happy about is the second result for both bags. And I wasn't going to fix this bag again, the one I'm giving away, but ultimately I was able to seam rip my bag so quickly. I thought, I'm not happy with this, and if I'm not happy with it, why am I going to send it to someone else? Of course, the reason I was sending this one is because the entire thing sewed together in front perfectly, and I knew the other one wasn't perfect because I didn't catch that section. And so this one was going to go out much quicker. But because I was able to seam rip my bag so fast, I thought, you know what? I'm going to seam rip this one too. And I'm so much happier with this second stitch. What I tend to do, and that's the 3rd time I've given a bag away, what I tend to do is give away what I consider the best bag, and then I keep the bag that I don't think came out as good. But sometimes that could just be my color choices. I did send a bag to Michelle Garrett, Bindi Stitching, and she should be getting it this week. It was Halloween, and I know she loves Halloween, and I knew she would appreciate the bag, whether it was perfect or not. And as I get better at making the bags, I definitely want to make some for her charity auctions that she does, because it's amazing. And why I don't really buy the charity items, but I could definitely donate craft that I create. One last item that I'm going to share with you quickly, because I just started last night. I picked up the stitching bug, well, the needlework bug. I I decided I was going to grab some needles and thread, and I was going to teach myself how to knit. I had decided that already, and the reason I want to knit is it's another craft I can undertake. Although right now, as I've been practicing, I'm thinking, well, this is time I'm wasting and I could be cross stitching. But ultimately, I know as I get better at it, I'll be producing scarves or hats or mittens or whatever it is that I want to make. But Zakia at Lady Wing Designs, she's the one that really inspired me, and she's been knitting quite a bit longer. And then I also love Michelle Bindi Stitchy's the knitting that she shows, and so many floss tubers also knit, and I'm like, there's got to be something, and I'm really happy. I've been able to cast on several times on this needle and another set that I have, and I'm not as good actually knitting, but I just started less than 24 hours ago. So knowing that I can now cast on makes me really happy. And as I work at it and practice, I'll be better at the actual knitting process. So that's all I have for today. That was 7.5 minutes of me rambling. My name is Shelly, and my channel is Oh My Ada. Thank you for showing up. And I'm going to have at least one more clip at the end of this one before I wrap it up and I put this out. Have a wonderful day. Happy stitching or any needlework, and I'll see you later. Hi, Floss Tube. I'm back. This is my second time filming this version. I talked for about a half an hour, and when I went to turn off the recording, I realized I never started it. Um, Such a hoot. Now, my goal has been for the last month, 2 months, to try to make it through a filming all the way without stopping and going back and cutting. And I've been able to do that, and I'm much happier with the way I'm filming, mainly because I feel more authentic, and I feel more comfortable with you. And that was the worst part of floss tube for me, just feeling out of my skin and out of my element. But I'm really glad that I stuck with it, because I'm able to give something back to a community that has given me so much. I've talked about quilting. I've talked about my favorite bag. I've talked about jelly rolls, and I need to still show my lonely little finger. I still want to show you the ones I ordered because I promised I would. I'm not going to take a lot of time doing that. I ordered the jelly rolls from jellyrollfabric.net, and I was pleased with the prices. Um, the one that cost the most, and I'll tell you what it is. It's the Robert Kaufman Batiks and Lava Flow. Come on, that's an autumn day just waiting to be used. Such beautiful fabric. And this is a 40-piece jelly roll. Not a big deal. It was comparatively priced at other sites, maybe within $1 or $2 of each other, so they didn't overcharge for it. And all of these smaller 20 rolls, These were really well priced. They were about $8 each, and I bought three. And each roll has 10, 10 designs, but the design is doubled, so you'll have two pieces of the same fabric. I also have, look at those beautiful colors. And the last one, this is deep ocean. Purples, blues, greens, just glorious. So thank you for allowing me to show these. The it'll come to me. This service was quick. I ordered it online and it was shipped and I had it within a week. And I think I got a good deal, or I believe I got a good deal. So I'm happy with that. I think I have favorite bags. And I don't tell the other bags because it feels like I'm cheating on them. This is the one I quilted and why I bought more jelly rolls, because each of these 4 quilt blocks I sewed and then I sewed them all together. So for me, this is a happy bag. And yes, I had to take it apart, but then I put it back together and all was right with the world. And now that I put the other one down, this is my next favorite. Well, the bag's listening. So this bag is my favorite. And I think my favorite part of it, it has to be the teal. I absolutely love that. I'm hiding cat-o'-lantern under my hand because I have the pattern here. I did make this zipper pull because I spent about 3 years with seed bead jewelry and I have hundreds of beads left over. And so I make nice little zipper pulls. I also have made scissor fobs, those sorts of things. I was on Facebook Friday night and I was going to join the Friday night fight night with Brandy at Be Stitch Me. She actually postponed it until Saturday, and I got on there and I bought my first piece of fabric from the fight. And then I went looking on her website. Big mistake. I don't see it yet on my credit card, but I bought the winter solstice box. Fall and winter are my favorite seasons, and I haven't bought a box yet, but I believe Brandy's going to put together a spectacular box based on the customer service I've seen, based on the fabric I've ordered from her. The piece of fabric I won was a 32 count s'mores, which was my number one wish to get. And then I won a piece of huckleberry, 18 count. And I'll show you those on the next floss tube video because, I didn't give you the date. Today is October 12th. And after this update, I'm going to upload the video and have it ready to go on the 16th. I have a problem. I was going to join Crazy Annie's Fabric of the Month Club when she switched over to Color and Cotton, and her spots filled up on the first day. And I never got a chance to join. I do her Picture This Plus fabric, but that ends in December. So right now I'm looking for a Fabric of the Month club to join. I'm going to stay with Brandy's Fabric of the Month because I love the fabric. I will change the count because I'm enjoying the higher count fabrics. And I'll get to that when I show you one of my new starts. So exciting. Lots to show you. And I feel like all I'm doing is talking. So I have the winter solstice box. That comes, it ships out December 1st, and that will have 5 pieces of linen in it. It would have had 6 had I ordered before the cutoff date. I feel kind of sad that I don't get that extra piece. So now that I'm looking for fabric, a Fabric of the Month club, I signed up for the Color and Cotton. Of course, I'm on a waiting list, but I did go to Under the Sea Fabric, and I bought a variety pack or an ornament pack, and the sizes are anywhere from 28 to 46, and I'll be able to sample those fabrics. But what fabric of the month do you belong to? I'd really like your opinions. I think Color and Cotton's good. I like overdyed. I like fabric. All right. So if you could help and give me some pointers or give me some places to look, I will look into that. And if I'm not happy with anything, maybe I'll just continue to buy it as I need it. Now, I do belong to Stacey Alexander's group, Stitching 911. It's spelled out, and I joined their. They had a Zoom meetup on Sunday 2 weeks ago, and everyone decided that we're going to start a Carolyn Manning project. It doesn't matter which pattern you use. I chose Autumn Marigolds because these are my favorite colors. And we're starting on November 1st. So I do have my pattern. I have most of the floss. And I have to tell you, there's nothing more beautiful than this floss. I have more floss that I love. But I just love being able to twist it like this and see the different colors appear and go away. I put my floss on these little keychains, and then I put them on a ring. And I'm going to start this November 1st or earlier. So this is a planned start. Let me go through my whip, and then I have a new start. This whip, I'm going to put where my color, where I was last time, right here. I learned how to do picture in picture. It's so easy, I can't believe I haven't figured it out before. There's just a drop down menu, and now I know where it is. So this is the pattern I've been working on the most in October, and let me move it here. I just love it. The colors, the teapot, it's so glorious. Now, I haven't thought that I've gotten much done, but every time I look at the picture comparisons, I'm getting quite a bit done. I am moving it closer to one side so that I can have the picture in picture right in here and you can compare. Oh my gosh. This is 28 count white Monaco that I tea and coffee dyed with the Priscilla and Chelsea method, and then I baked it. I don't know if the color is set. I wouldn't count on it because I got a different piece wet and the modeling kind of just, that wasn't very attractive. But that pattern is in cross stitch. It's the second pattern in the book, and I should be done with it by the end of November if I keep at it. I'm not a monogamous stitcher. I'm really not. But I like spending 2 or 3 weeks on a project and just really getting into it. Now, here's my new start. I'll show you. It's in this year's Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine. What do you want to call it? um, it's not an episode, issue. I have issues, lots and lots of issues. This is Misty Purcell's paddle lantern, and I fell in love with this. There's this little vermin right here, but the cat with the hat on it, that just did me over. And so I've been working on this 2 days. And again, that's Misty Purcell from Luminous Fiber Arts. I am in love. You may notice that I decided to change the color of the pumpkin to teal. I've been watching Michelle Bendy Stitchies live floss tubes on Thursdays at 6 Pacific time, and she's working on some pumpkins right now, and I kept thinking, come on, Michelle, turn one turquoise, and then I thought, Shelley, dummy. I call myself dummy every once in a while. I don't mean it. I'm typically nice to myself, but I'm like, you're going to be stitching a pumpkin. Why not stitch yours in turquoise? So right now, the pumpkin's in a position to be filled in. I was just zipping along right here with the cat until I realized that I put this centered piece, this centered stitch, one stitch off. In reality, it wouldn't have mattered, but because I'm having so much fun stitching, I didn't mind frogging. And I'm like, well, let's frog it. Let's get it right. And I did. Now, with this penny border, I did the yellows, and it's the same color as the moon up here, but these still need to be filled in. And it was supposed to be the darker orange from the pumpkin, so I'm going to fill it in with this darker turquoise. This is a prim pattern, and I did use bright colors, and I'm going to love it no matter what, but I'm thinking I should have gone with prim blues, but I'm okay with it. I absolutely love it. Now, what's so amazing about this project is that it's on 40 count linen. When I first saw the linen, I'm like, there is no way I'm going to be able to stitch this on 40 count linen. And would you believe, as I was stitching, I fell in love with it. And I got this border to match up on the first try. So the first time I stitched, I got the border and the moon. And then the second time I stitched, I got a ton of the pumpkin and a little bit of the cat done. So I feel like I'm going to be done with this in 3 or 4 more sessions, but I do have to put in a star over here. And I'm using this for my monthly magazine challenge, and the star here is for my S because we have an acrostic ghost, and I'll use the sun for the S in ghost or star. It's probably the star. So again, what is your favorite count to stitch on? My floss tube name is Oh My Ada, and I have no problem stitching on Ada. Love it. But I also like switching it up to use an even weave like Lugana or a linen where I'm stitching 2/2. And I told you that my teapot with the sunflowers, that's on 28 count, and I'm stitching it 2/2. And I'm just loving it. So what is it you like to stitch on? Are you only an Ada person? Are you only a linen person? Here's the thing. Do you? I don't want to limit myself, because as soon as I limit myself, then I'm not having fun anymore. Now, if I tried the 40 count linen and I was blowing it left and right, I would have said, forget it. But you can really see and stitch quickly because your first stitch is correct. And then you kind of follow that pattern and your eyes adjust to it. So if you wanted to try 40, I would say go for it. And I didn't know if I would like it or not. So I bought the smallest piece that I could find. And the reason I didn't tell you the name of this is because I actually don't know the name. It's 40 count champagne, and champagne's the color, but I wasn't told, the fabric. It could be Picture This Plus, but it doesn't tell me. If you know what this code down here means, maybe that tells us, but I'm so happy with it. I just want to keep working on it. And that tells you if you actually like the fabric or not, right? You like your project or not. And that pattern, I think I showed you. I know I showed you. It's in this magazine. I talked about stitching 911. I know I did, and I showed you the pattern. Now, I ordered a box, not a box, but a package from Under the Sea Fabric of ornament size fabric in counts 28 to 46 to see if I'm going to like that fabric. I'll get that over the next month and I'll film as that comes in just to let you know. There's one last thing I would like to share with you, one last craft. And I told you in the last vlog that I was going to take up knitting. Well, I told you this is my second filming of this. And in the first filming, I had the needle on there. But because, and I'm not stopping, but what I'll do or tend to do each night is take the knitting needle off and I just unravel it and I roll it back up and I start again the next day. Why? Because I've been knitting for less than a week. I started knitting on Wednesday of last week. Don't know the date. You can look at a calendar. Today is Monday, and I'm having a blast. And isn't that what crafting is all about? If you just love cross stitch, go for it. If you love cross stitch and diamond painting, throw that in there. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. But Michelle Bendy Stitchy, I've been looking at her patterns that she's been stitching, and I want to be able to knit. I don't expect that I'm going to be a fabulous knitter anytime soon, but I do know that I'll be able to go back to this video or look on my Ravelry account and just giggle at how bad I was at the beginning. But that's true of any hobby. You've got to give yourself time to grow. I started my cattle lantern on 40 count linen, not knowing if I would like it or not, and I took it one stitch at a time. And that's what I want you to do. If you're nervous or you're worried about starting a project, or you don't want to do a chatelaine, or you don't want to do a band sampler because there are different stitches that you're not used to, buy it, take a breath, and try it. And if you get it wrong, undo it and try it again. And if you're worried you're going to ruin your thread or the work you've already done, practice on a different piece of fabric. It's all good. because every FFO begins with a single stitch. With that, I'm going to wish you a fond farewell, and I'll see you in November. Bye. Happy crafting.